What is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get, and welcome to March. As you can see, I am dressed in a rain jacket because the weather for this month has been absolutely freaking chaotic. There was one day during the week where it was super warm, it was in the 70s, but then it dropped down to 50 and 40 again, and I was just freezing my ass off. See, this is what I keep telling people, that March deserves to be called Murky March because you have no idea what you're going to be in for. But as I'm trying to navigate this confusing ass weather, we got some new music to discuss. Particularly, we're focusing on the guy who happens to be on this exact poster right here. So this should be a blast. And we got some new singles on the way, including a few country songs, and we got our artist on the rise, of course. So, I shouldn't be wasting any more time. Let's just get into the discussion. I hope you're able to wipe the gray snow off your hands, because the sun is up for the sum up. Today, we're going to be looking at what is probably the most highly anticipated album of the year. And it's from the English icon himself, Harry Styles. This one is titled Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. Harry has definitely been on a wild ride for the past few years. He's been working on his movie career and even appeared at London Fashion Week. Most seriously though, he's had to deal with the death of his former bandmate, Liam Payne. I can't even begin to imagine what he's been going through since 2024. A part of me believes this might linger over the fourth LP. Many people have been labeling this project as a disco album, which makes sense since the word is literally in the title. Aperture has definitely given us a glimpse into what this album might sound like. It did take a minute for me to understand that track, but now I think I'm on board with it. So surely Harry can work his marvelous mind once again and produce something great. We'll be getting back to Harry Styles in just a few moments, but for now I want to give you my 4 to blast for the first half of March. These are singles that I think could do a lot to shake up the charts or really impress listeners, so please pay attention as I reveal them to you. This is a pretty interesting bunch, although a lot of people I'm sure didn't want to compete with the Harry Styles release. Regardless, we still have some great quality on our hands. So, I should just cut the chit-chat and get into it. This is my 4 to blast. The first song we're discussing has a pretty lengthy title. All I Did Was Dream of You by Beabadoobee featuring the Marías. Ever since Deathbed, Coffee for Your Head went viral during the COVID pandemic, Beabadoobee has seen plenty of success within the rock scene. Admittedly, I haven't kept up too much with her other outputs, but from what I've seen, she knows her stuff. She's now giving us a new song called All I Did Was Dream of You, and she teamed up with a new breakout artist in rock music. The Marías joined her on this dreamlike track, which they know how to do very well as evidenced by No One Noticed. It starts off pretty soft with a plucking guitar and timid cymbals to drive the tune, but as the song progresses, we're hit with shredding guitars. The track leads you to believe that Beabadoobee is relishing in the love she's currently experiencing with her partner, but it then reveals that she's reflecting on a time that's fairly behind her, and she yearns for the day she can relive it. In conclusion, All I Did Was Dream of You proves that I need to strengthen my Beabadoobee listening. Our next song for today is Dry Spell by Kacey Musgraves. You know I'm always turning up whenever Kacey Musgraves drops a new track. She has an upcoming album release for May, and Dry Spell appears to be the lead single. This song essentially has a western theme to it, making you feel like you've traveled to a different era. The sound is used for a song where Kacey admits to the listener that she's desperate for a new boyfriend to link up with. She said that she's lonely with a capital H, and I've watched enough Jake and Amir to know what the H stands for in this context. You really sense that she lusts for a man to sweep her off her feet, but she's very confused about what she can do to fulfill her desires. Kacey also uses her voice very cleverly, keeping it at a low pitch throughout the tune as if she's totally deflated. The final seconds of the track, where you hear a thunderstorm brewing in the distance, is neat because it provides hope that she will eventually find someone to spend a glorious night with. Kacey may be going through a dry spell, but she's definitely keeping the music pipeline fresh. Keeping the country theme going is our next single, Borrowed Time by Sam Barber. Sam Barber appears to be the new face rising in country music. I can't say I've explored his work too much, but I was amazed by Indigo, his collab with Avery Anna. I was even very close to adding it to my best of 2025 list. Well, the Missouri vocalist has put out some new material in the form of Borrowed Time. This song seemingly opens with the scream of an excited fan, before we enter with the heavy electric guitar and pounding drum. This production is used for a story where Sam tells a nasty individual to get out of his life. He emphasizes that losing this relationship won't affect him in any way, for he sleeps delicately at night. One particularly harsh line is when he compares this toxic friend to a disease because they come and go whenever they want, like Jesus. What's really neat is the guitar instrumentals that play before each chorus, and we even hear the production go into epic mode after each chorus has passed. I'm not able to predict what Sam's stardom will later look like, but I can say Borrowed Time shows he's promising. Our final song on the For to Blast today is Love, Love, Love by Steven Sanchez. It's good to catch up with Steven Sanchez again. He hasn't been active too much in the past year, but the band now has a new full-length LP that's scheduled for May. One of the singles included will be the title track, Love, Love, Love. Steven embraces a bossa nova persona for this tune, infusing gentle bongos and a groovy bass. But while the sound is pleasing to the ears, what really captures your attention are the lyrics. Steven wrote the song as a plea for humans to get along with each other and see past their differences. Normally, I wouldn't find a track like this all too special, but honestly, it's the type of music that's needed in society, especially when you consider the real-world events happening right this second. Steven even urges listeners to not pretend that everything in the world is peachy, and acknowledge the travesties people are facing. There's almost a sadness and desperation in his voice, asking for people to just simply unite. It's especially touching to hear how Steven ends the track, with him adding a beautiful trumpet solo and using a key change. He's truly letting the love, love, love persist. Be sure to give all of those singles a listen because I think they could do a lot to blow you away. I would like to see Beabadoobee sort of appear on the Hot 100 again because the charts could always use some rock music to shake things up, you know? But speaking of lengthy song titles, I think we still have an album discussion on the table. So let's get back to focusing on Harry Styles' Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. Some of the discourse surrounding Harry Styles as of late has been pretty fascinating, because there's this idea that the general public isn't too interested in him anymore. A few of my peers have argued that artists like Benson Boone and Somber have essentially stolen the audience Harry acquired through his pop rock sound. I think it's pretty silly to imagine the world simply dropping the man at a moment's notice. Sure, you can tell that Aperture hasn't been seeing that strong of a performance on the charts, but I think listeners are still willing to give him a chance since he's always been a wonderful showman. I'm always eager to understand what's going on in Harry's mind since he tends to remain fairly private, so the release of Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally was something I anticipated. The album is actually Harry going on a journey of self-discovery. He has stated that as he's entered his 30s and watched his bandmates start families, he's on a mission to figure out what he's really comfortable with doing in his life. American Girls, for example, is him being fascinated with how close his friends have become with their significant others, feeling so sure of the people they want to grow old with. One song that really captures what Harry is going for is Dance No More, because it's him feeling the need to constantly amuse others, but feeling a disconnect from his own self. The line, "Keep your customers satisfied," definitely gets this point across. Another track that captures my attention is Are You Listening Yet? It takes on an angry, frustrated tone, and Harry is telling himself to be better at not ignoring the voices in his brain, because they might understand what you need most. The sound of his record can be pretty creative at times. I love the catchy pop funk of Taste Back, and the strings on Coming Up Roses almost feel like a ballet recital. I especially enjoy the crisp drums that sometimes Harry utilizes, like on Season 2 Weight Loss. Admittedly, I sense this as a way more subdued record than his previous output. You don't get a lot of the same bombastic fun that some of his other tracks have offered. We still get the same pop rock compositions Harry has always written, but this time they feel more like he's in the process of reflecting on himself while lying on the couch. I find the record to be a tiny bit drab at various moments. Some of the tracks don't offer that same excitement that Harry can spark. Even the slower, more serious songs don't hit the same emotional nerve he's been able to find before. To be honest, I wouldn't say Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally amazes me as much as other Harry Styles albums. But I wouldn't call it a total failure because Harry's quirky persona is still able to shine through and engage the listener. A lot of the funk sounds are enough to make you bop your head and groove. As stated before, this LP is largely Harry trying to figure out what suits him best personally now that he's far from his teenage years. So to circle back to the point from earlier, I don't think his time as a hitmaker is coming to a close, because there are still tons of fans who are curious to explore what's going on with him personally. I might see myself only returning to a few of the album's tracks, but I know for sure I'll be having fun with those tracks. I specifically like the note the album finishes with, Carla Song, where he finds all the beauty life has to offer, and the music just beams with so much light with its synthesizers and rapid cymbals. I like the hope this album offers by the end, because it extends to Harry's life as an artist and a person. He certainly hasn't lost his shimmer in his disco ball. Yeah, I didn't really find this one to be super memorable as much as Harry's other projects, but it's still Harry Styles, and he really knows how to entertain people, so I would say this one gets a pass still. Taste Back, in particular, could do a lot to really make an impact on the charts, so Harry, in the small likelihood you're watching this, please make that your next single. Now, to close out the video, like always, I'm gonna give you my artist on the rise for the first half of March. This is a fairly new artist that I think can make a huge impression on the mainstream, so I really want them to have their moment. It's only been a few years since they first began publishing material, but I think it's amazing enough that it deserves a shout out. So, I'm ready to get into it. My artist on the rise for the first half of March is Sistra. Sistra is a sibling duo consisting of Sasha and Sylvie Briggs, who originated from the UK. While they've always had a close relationship with music, they decided to pursue a career in the art form while being locked down during the pandemic. Their discography goes as far back as 2023. A lot of Sistra's craft includes a calming techno sound, exploring the roller coaster of feelings that come with relationships. It seems as they continue throughout 2024, they added a much heavier sound to bring some intensity. I have become very fascinated with their latest single, Is It Just Me? Opening with some chopped vocals, the song gives us an intricate string melody for the first verse laced with some synths as the singer expresses sad lyrics about her partner growing distant and feeling bored with the relationship. The song keeps building with its various techno melodies as it creates a slow burn of a drop. When that drop finally hits in the final 60 seconds, it's like our lead vocalist is finally coming to grips with the realization that her date no longer wants her, building a truly melancholic tune. Is It Just Me is meant to be part of an EP titled She Won't Let Go, so maybe the project is worth exploring if you want to see what else these two sisters can bring. Guys, believe me when I tell you that Sistra has a lot of potential for top 40. I mean, at the very least, we could see them really blow up in the EDM scene, so please, oh please, visit their streaming platforms. But, with all that said, we have pretty much wrapped up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of The Sum Up. I had fun with this one, I hope you did as well. I'm gonna try to get through March using my little raincoat over here, so I hope I'm able to make it. I'm sure everybody's gonna have fun listening to the new Harry Styles album and determine which singles deserve to be hits, you know? In the meantime though, if you guys wanna follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. And that's where we are wrapping up today. My name is Gabriel Jones and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.